Greetings, fellow time travelers. Welcome back to Treasures of History, where we uncover the hidden mysteries of lost civilizations and dive deep into the secrets that shaped our world. I'm your archaeological guide, ready to take you on another mind-bending journey through the corridors of time. Today's discovery will absolutely blow your mind. We're about to explore the most incredible mummies ever found, from golden pharaohs to perfectly preserved ancient nobles. These aren't just ancient bodies. They're time capsules that reveal the deepest secrets of civilizations long gone. Before we unveil these incredible treasures, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss the ancient mysteries we're about to reveal. Chapter 1. The Golden Revelation of Cairo. Picture this scene. Archaeologists are working near the famous Step Pyramid of Djoser, one of Egypt's most ancient monuments. The sun beats down on the sand as they carefully brush away layers of earth that have hidden secrets for over 4,000 years. Then suddenly they uncover something that makes them freeze in absolute wonder. What they discovered was nothing short of extraordinary. The oldest and most complete mummy ever found in Egypt. This remarkable find dates back 4,300 years to the Old Kingdom period. But here's what will absolutely amaze you. This ancient person was wrapped in layers upon layers of gleaming gold. But the mysteries didn't stop there. The archaeological team uncovered an entire complex of tombs near this golden mummy. One tomb belonged to a high-ranking Egyptian official who wielded tremendous power in ancient times. Another fascinating discovery was the tomb of a secret keeper, a priest who had the exclusive authority to perform sacred ceremonies that connected the earthly world with the divine realm. Now, pay attention to this incredible detail. They also found the tomb of an ancient scribe, and inside were the largest statues ever discovered in this entire region. This extensive burial site houses more than a dozen pyramids and countless resting places. What does this tell us? This wasn't just a cemetery. It was a sacred city of the dead, carefully planned and constructed over centuries. Chapter 2. Hatshepsut, the Vanishing Queen. Here's a mystery that baffled archaeologists for decades. One of Egypt's most powerful rulers seemed to have vanished without a trace. Hatshepsut wasn't just any pharaoh. She was a woman who ruled Egypt for approximately 20 years during one of its most prosperous periods. She commissioned magnificent temples, constructed impressive buildings throughout the land, and established new trade routes that brought unimaginable wealth to Egypt. She was so powerful that she often wore the traditional false beard of the pharaohs. But when the famous archaeologist Howard Carter discovered her tomb in the Valley of the Kings, he found something shocking. Her sarcophagus was completely empty. Where could the body of such a powerful queen have gone? The mystery deepened when Carter found two coffins in another nearby tomb. One clearly belonged to Hatshepsut's beloved nurse, but the other contained an unidentified woman. For decades, this mysterious mummy remained nameless. Then, in 2006, a team of specialists decided to solve this ancient puzzle once and for all. They discovered a wooden box inscribed with Hatshepsut's royal name, and inside was a single molar tooth. When they carefully compared this tooth with a gap in the mysterious mummy's mouth, it fit perfectly, like finding the final piece of an ancient jigsaw puzzle. The Vanishing Queen had been found at last, hiding in plain sight all along. But here's the puzzling question. Why was her body moved? Who wanted to hide the remains of this powerful ruler, and what secrets died with her? Chapter 3. Ramesses the Second, the Pharaoh with a Passport. Now let me tell you about one of the most incredible stories in archaeological history. A mummy that made international headlines in the most unexpected way. Ramesses II wasn't just impressive, he was legendary. He is considered the most powerful pharaoh in all of Egyptian history, ruling for an astonishing 66 years. But it doesn't stop there. This remarkable ruler lived for more than 90 years, which is absolutely mind-blowing considering the medical limitations of his era. Here's an amazing detail. Ramesses II reportedly had more than 100 children. Now, that's what you call a truly royal family. When this great pharaoh died, his body was originally laid to rest in the Valley of the Kings, with all the treasures befitting his status. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Thieves attempted to raid his tomb and steal the priceless artifacts buried with him. The officials of that time weren't about to let that happen, so they made a bold decision. They secretly moved his body to a hidden location to keep it safe from grave robbers. Fast forward to the 19th century. Ramesses II's mummy was rediscovered along with the remains of other rulers and important officials. But there was a serious problem. After 3,000 years, his mummy was deteriorating and needed specialized conservation treatment that could only be provided in Paris. But wait, how do you transport an ancient pharaoh to another country? According to international law, you simply can't move human remains across borders without proper documentation. The solution? They issued Ramesses II his very own passport. This is absolutely true. His occupation was officially listed as king, and the document even included his photograph. Imagine a mummy photo on a passport. This makes Ramesses II probably the only pharaoh in history to have travelled internationally with proper documentation. Now let's travel from Egypt to ancient China, where archaeologists made a discovery that, honestly, defied everything we knew about preservation. Most mummies we know aren't exactly famous for having hydrated, flexible skin. In fact, quite the opposite. But Lady Di, also known as Lady Di, was completely different. This distinguished noblewoman from ancient China was discovered in an ornate tomb in 1971, and when archaeologists first saw her, they could barely believe their eyes. If we can say this respectfully about a mummy, she looked fabulous. Thanks to the special conditions in her tomb, including the precise humidity levels and complete absence of oxygen, her body was preserved almost perfectly. Her skin remained soft and supple, her hair was still intact, and incredibly, her limbs retained flexibility even after more than 2,000 years. The museum that now proudly displays her mummy also showcases the luxurious objects buried alongside her. Exquisite dishes, precious jewellery, and ancient musical instruments that tell us she enjoyed the finest things in life. But, you know, modern technology allowed scientists to investigate even deeper. Using advanced medical imaging, they discovered that Lady Di died of a heart attack at approximately 50 years old. Even though more than 2 millennia have passed, Lady Di continues making history and teaching us about life in ancient China. Picture the majestic Alps back in 1991. Hikers were trekking through a mountain pass when, well, they spotted something rather unusual just poking out from the ice. What they discovered would honestly rewrite our understanding of prehistoric Europe. Now, Austrian authorities at first thought they'd found a modern mountaineer who'd tragically perished up there in the mountains. After all, the body was, surprisingly, remarkably well preserved. But, you see, scientific analysis revealed something absolutely incredible. This wasn't a modern victim at all. This was a man from the Copper Age, over 5,000 years old. Otzi, as he came to be called, was found in a mountain pass more than 3,000 meters above sea level. The freezing conditions had, quite literally, frozen him in time, giving us a perfect snapshot of life in prehistoric Europe. By studying his mummy, scientists have learned an astonishing amount about life in Copper Age Europe. For instance, we now know he was native to Central Europe and, well, enjoyed eating meat. We can even identify his last meal. He suffered from arthritis, hardening of the arteries and intestinal problems. But here's something fascinating. Evidence suggests he used acupuncture and medicinal herbs to treat these ailments. That means this ancient healing practice is far older than many historians believed. Otzi was also quite skilled with tools. Scientists discovered that he had sharpened his equipment just days before his untimely death. Was he expecting trouble, or was he simply preparing for routine work? The mystery of his final days, honestly, continues to intrigue researchers. No discussion of mummies would be complete without talking about the pharaoh who captured the world's imagination. King Tutankhamun died at the tragically young age of 19 more than 3,000 years ago, but his mummy remains one of the most famous in the world. When his tomb was opened in 1922 by Howard Carter, people around the globe went absolutely wild with excitement. Why? Because unlike so many other royal tombs that had been looted by ancient grave robbers, Tutankhamun's tomb was still intact. It contained incredibly luxurious coffins, including one made of solid gold, weighing over 245 pounds. But Tutankhamun's tomb gave us far more than golden treasures. His mummy has taught us an enormous amount about the period in which he lived. DNA analysis helped identify his parents and revealed fascinating details about the royal family. Scientists also discovered that the young pharaoh suffered from a rare bone disorder that may have made walking difficult for him. Combined with other health issues revealed through modern medical technology, we now understand that this young king faced significant physical challenges during his short reign. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? If he had lived longer, how might he have changed Egyptian history? Here's a discovery that will absolutely fascinate you. The Ghibelline man is like a time traveller from 5,000 years ago who still looks, well, incredible. With his golden hair perfectly preserved and his fingernails still intact, the Ghibelline man represents one of the most remarkable examples of natural mummification ever discovered. Found in Egypt, he's believed to be the oldest naturally mummified body known to science. But here's what makes this discovery so intriguing. This preservation happened before ancient Egyptians developed the famous mummification techniques we associate with their civilization. Before people understood artificial preservation, they would place bodies in deep graves in the hot, dry desert sand. The sand absorbed all the moisture from the body, which prevented bacteria from growing and decomposing the remains. The body was, in a way, freeze-dried by the intense desert heat. Scientists aren't completely certain whether this preservation was intentional or accidental. However, the fact that the Ghibelline man was buried with ceramic vessels suggests that whoever laid him to rest understood at least some preservation techniques. If you want to meet the Ghibelline man in person, he's currently resting peacefully in the British Museum. still amazing visitors after 5 millennia. Prepare yourself for one of the most shocking archaeological discoveries of modern times. A Dutch art collector purchased what he thought was simply an ancient statue from Asia. It was beautiful, ornate, and appeared to be a standard religious artifact. But when scientists decided to examine it more closely using modern imaging technology, they discovered something absolutely mind-blowing. There was a mummy hidden inside the statue. Unfortunately, the body was far too fragile to remove without causing irreparable damage, so they had to leave it encased within the statue. But here's what makes this story even more fascinating. This mummy is over 1,000 years old and had been exposed for approximately 200 years before being encapsulated within the statue. When scientists performed a CT scan, they made another incredible discovery. The mummy was stuffed with pieces of paper covered in ancient writing. Experts believe this might be an example of self-mummification, an incredibly intense spiritual practice that required following a special diet and drinking a particular tea that made the body less susceptible to bacterial decomposition. Only a very few dedicated individuals could endure this grueling ritual, and those who succeeded were deeply revered in their communities. This hidden mummy represents an extraordinary example